I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Mark Nelson, Gerald Thanos Poole have the front row. Jerry Berger and Tim St. Jean on the second row. Gil Guac, Kevin Hayes on the third row. Danny Passmore, Jeff Oakes on the fourth. Warren Moore and Darrell Klotz round out your top 10. Kenny Passmore in 11th. James Lacey in 12th. Mike Harris starting in 13th. Kevin Bruner in 14th. Jess Chambers in 15th. Mike Burgess 16th. Thomas Byram starting in 17th. And Andrew Forrester back in 18th. "80 laps around this 3/4 of a mile track. Fuel window somewhere between 50 and 60 laps. Caution laps could definitely throw that for a loop. As always, if you have a favorite driver in the field, don't forget to drop in the comments. Let us know who you're cheering for. A lot of these drivers do listen in, love to know their fans are in the stands. Mark Nelson, the points leader, in control of the start. Gerald Thanos Poole out on the outside. His best qualifying effort of the season, and Tim St. Jean up there in the second row was fast in practice, fast in qualifying. Here we go, pace car is in.
Here we go, green flag, boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
They're down and away, off into turn number 1. Will everybody make it through 1 and 2 this time on cold tires? Looks like everybody being a little extra cautious, and no, we've got one bobbling. I believe that is James Lacey. Kevin Bruner had to check up and loses some ground. One car spinning off 4, no caution. Jess Chambers just loses it coming out of 4. It is so easy to get loose at this track. It does not matter the car. It doesn't matter the track conditions. The exit at turn 4 is always slippery. Jeff Oakes already in the move, up on the move, up to 7th place. Mike Burgess up 2 spots into 14th. Jess Chambers has recovered but dropped back into 17th place. Andrew Forrester did not start the race. Mark Nelson out front for the moment. Gerald Poole in second. Jerry Bergeron, the defending champ, sits in third. Tim St. Jean in fourth. Gil Guac in fifth. Kevin Hayes, Jeff Oakes, Danny Passmore, Darrell Klotz, and Warren Moore, your top 10 at the moment. Watching Tim St. Jean, I noticed in practice, and I noticed it a moment ago, he exits turn 2 really wide, but it allows him to carry a little bit more momentum off. Slings it out to the outside a little earlier than everybody else. That time, though, he exited from the bottom. As Jeff Oakes on the attack, now up to 6th. Danny Passmore trying to go through the open door. Kevin Hayes on the high side appears to be blinking. Kevin Hayes may have just lost connection. We'll see if it steadies out and he comes back, but it does look like he may be out. Tim St. Jean in fourth, staying right on the back bumper of Jerry Bergeron. Jeff Oates now up into sixth. Jeff was the fastest in practice. Jeff won last week at Circuit of the Americas, looking to close the points gap. Maybe take the points lead here tonight, but points leader Mark Nelson at the moment is out front. Darrell Klotz also picking up a couple of spots here early. Now up into eighth. Klotz came in tonight fifth in points. Had a big jump in points after last week's race at Circuit of the Americas. Mike Burgess up 3 spots now into 13th. Kevin Bruner, despite being behind a car, James Lacey earlier getting loose, Bruner has now moved up 2 spots into 12th. Burgess up 3 spots into 13th. Mike Harris just ahead of him, up 2 spots into 11th. Kenny Passmore just moved into the top 10. Kevin Hayes' connection has stabilized, at least for the moment, but he lost a lot of ground, having to back out of it, now back in 15th. Meanwhile, Mark Nelson pulling a bit of a gap on Thanos, now 0.8 of a second as St. Jean is going for third. Down into turn 3, he's got the nose ahead and takes it. St. Jean now up into third. Can he run down? Oh, Jerry Bergeron looked back underneath, trying to cross over, but couldn't get it done. Jeff Oates has moved back into 5th and is closing the gap on Bergeron. We mentioned it earlier, Oates was fastest in practice. Thomas Byram has unexpectedly gone to pit road. Did not look like he was getting a tire change. Jeff Oates already starting to look underneath Jerry Bergeron down the front straightaway into turn 1. Out of turn 2, that Highline has a little advantage. Doesn't seem to phase Oates. He sends it into turn 3 and looks like he will clear coming out of 4. Gil Glock back in 6th. Danny Passmore in 7th. Darrell Klotz now in 8th. Warren Moore in 9th. Danny Oh! There was a bit of chaos back behind with Darrell Klotz. Let's see what happened. Headed down in turn 3. Oh, looks like the 47 just pushes up. gets into Klotz. They were briefly 4 wide. Bruner had to ride the barrier around, but everybody recovers and keeps moving forward. Mark Nelson's lead now 1 1/4 seconds, but he might want to worry. Jeff Oakes just came by Tim St. Jean to take third. Tim now 1.9 seconds behind Gerald Poole in second and closing that gap quickly. And wow, Oakes is really already pulling a gap on St. Jean tonight. Mark Nelson has a 1.4 second lead over Gerald. Oakes in third is already knocked a 1/4 second off the gap to second. Hey, good evening, Harley. Good evening, Tessa. Good evening, Tonya West. Kevin Bruner, despite that incident with Klotz and having to go high, almost into the wall, may have even gotten the wall, has now moved into the top 10 after starting in 14th. Does not look like Bruner had any damage on the right side of that car. May have just barely been able to keep it out of the wall. Mark Nelson's lead now 2.3 seconds over Gerald, but Gerald is in trouble. Oh, Jeff Oakes coming out of 2. He is sending that car, but it is right on the ragged edge. You have to wonder, we saw how out of shape that car is getting out of turn 2. How long can he keep it up? That car he is just throwing it through the turns. Jerry Bergeron back in 5th with Gil Guac still in his bumper in 6th. Danny Passmore in 7th. Now is Kenny Passmore in 8th. Kevin Bruner in 9th. Mike Harris in 10th. Mike Burgess in 11th and Warren Moore in 12th. Everybody within striking distance. Kevin Hayes, after dropping all the way back, has now moved back into 13th and is reeling in everybody ahead. Jeff Oakes now underneath. He will take second place from Thanos. Mark Nelson's lead currently 3.6 seconds. But now that Oakes has moved into second, will he be able to close the gap, or did he use the car up on the way there? Mike Harris, Mike Burgess battling for 10th place. Burgess has the run on the bottom out of 4. Down into turn 1, it does look like Mike Burgess will clear. Danny Passmore versus Kenny Passmore. Kevin Bruner is the first driver on pit road. Danny and Kenny side by side. Danny able to use the momentum from the high side out of turn 2, but through 3 and 4, Kenny gets a better run. That has allowed Mike Burgess and Mike Harris to close in. Kevin Hayes has almost caught him. Kevin now back up into 11th. Kevin Bruner coming back off pit road on fresh tires. Will he be able to make up some ground here? Times have started to fall off significantly. Mark Nelson, fastest lap of 22.55. Last time by 23.54. So a second slower every lap. Meanwhile, Kevin Bruner out here with fresh tires is going to be able to start running folks down. Might even be able to unlap himself. Mark Nelson has just put 14th place James Lacey a lap down. Now sets his sights on 13th place Jess Chambers. Trying to put some lap cars between him and Jeff Oakes. That gap holding at about 3.7 seconds at the moment. Oakes is not making up any ground, but he is not losing any either. Jess Chambers has come to pit road for his stop. Kevin Bruner on those 4 fresh tires closing in on the leader. And you'll see how easily it is for him to drive by. Drops it down toward the bottom on the front straightaway. Into 1 and 2, just shoots by Mark Nelson. Getting one of his laps back the old-fashioned way. Mark Nelson continuing to stay out. Kevin Bruner did short pit a little bit. Looks like everybody else is going to stretch it. Not everybody. Kevin Hayes is on his way in. Jess Chambers is on his way back out. Jeff Oakes in second, still trying to run down the leader. The gap 3.8 seconds as Gil Gwant giving up 6th. Gerald Poole holds on to 3rd. Tim St. Jean closing in 4th. Jerry Bergeron in 5th. Kenny Passmore 6th. Mike Burgess 7th. Danny Passmore in 8th. Mike Harrison 9th. Warren Moore in 10th. Jess Chambers, fresh tires, comes by the leader. Kevin Bruner coming into more and more traffic. Remember, he pitted before everybody else. At the moment, it's paying off, but will it on the long run? Hey, good evening, Martin. Danny Passmore is on pit road. Mark Nelson is in. Gerald Poole is in. Jeff Oakes claiming the lead. Jeff Oakes now headed to pit road. Tim St. Jean gonna stay out, as is Jerry Bergeron. Hey, good evening, Russell. Mike Harris now on pit road. Tim St. Jean has the lead, but Jerry Bergeron, the defending champ, looking underneath. It's Tim at the line, but Jerry has the run into one. Tim, however, has been able to run that high line better than everybody else here tonight. Bergeron still fighting. He does lead that time by. The top five have not been to pit road yet. They've got to be hoping a caution comes out and they trap a bunch of drivers a lap down, including the Mark Nelson. Now Bergeron is on pit road. Tim St. Jean has gone back to the lead, but he has Mark right on his bumper. Jeff Oakes just set the fastest lap of the night as he tries to close the gap on Mark. Oakes currently 1.7 seconds behind Mark Nelson. Kenny Passmore now on pit road. That just leaves a couple of cars to make their pit stops. Tim St. Jean and James Lacey, the only two left. Mark Nelson now scored in second. Jeff Oakes in third, 2.1 seconds back. And Tim just trying to save fuel, save tires, and last as long as he can out here. He's got to be hoping for a caution. Tim came into the night fourth in points. He is looking for any help he can find here. Mark Nelson's gap back to Jeff Oakes is shrinking. Jeff now 1.75 seconds back. Tim St. Jean continues to go past pit road. Everybody coming around him unlapping themselves. Gerald Poole coming back by. Gil Guac also coming back by in fourth. James Lacey on the 45 has also not been to pit road yet. Lacey currently sitting in sits sixth on track, but that car obviously not wanting to turn very well. This is a track you are out of the throttle quite a bit through the turns. Surely Tim did not conserve enough fuel in the first half of this to go the distance. He continues to stretch it out. 24, now 23 laps to go. He has got a 13-second lead on second place Mark Nelson. Mark is closing that gap quickly, but that may be because Jeff Oakes is closing in on him. Lap traffic definitely playing a factor here as Mark is about to clear lap. No! Mark gets into a lap car on the high side. They clear the racing surface. It will not be a caution. 22 laps to go. Let's take a look at that. Danny Passmore trying to hold on to the lead lap. Mark just pushes up, gets into him. Danny manages to quickly recover, get it back out on track, but Mark was able to get it wound up, so did not get into the wall, but lost a lot of ground. And the points may have just gone for a big change here tonight because Mark Nelson dropped back to 6th as the points leader. Second in points, just 5 points behind. Jeff Oakes now runs in second. And somehow Tim St. Jean is still out on track, has not gone to pit road. He has gone 62 laps without stopping for fuel. He has an 8 1/4 second lead over Jeff Oakes, but Jeff is on fresher tires. Can St. Jean make it to the end from here? There has not been a caution tonight. So there has not been any caution laps to conserve fuel, which means if he makes it to the end, it has been all fuel conservation on track. He started in 4th though and had been up in the top 5 pretty much all night. Mark Nelson starting to come back. He is now up to 5th. Right behind 4th place, Gerald Poole, and 3rd place, Jerry. Tim St. Jean is in. 15 laps to go. He is in. He did not make it. There was definitely some big question marks on that one. Mark Nelson now into 4th. Make that 3rd as he goes by Gerald Poole. Jeff Oakes out front. And Jerry Bergeron now holds on to 2nd place. The defending champ is back in the fight. Jerry has not had a great start to this season, but last week jumped 3 spots into the points, putting him back into the top 10. He is 9th in points coming into tonight. Jeff Oakes has a 9 1/4 second lead over Bergeron. Gerald Poole and Mark Nelson battling again for 3rd. They're going to try. No, they were almost 3 wide coming out of 2. Mark finally clears. And the beautiful unicorn cheering on the Mark Nelson. She will be trucking. Well, she probably is trucking right about now. She will have the HTSAI Community Convoy live right after the broadcast. Mark Nelson now just over 1 second behind Bergeron. Definitely making up some ground after that incident with Danny Passmore. Passmore ended up drifting all the way back to 13th. A heartbreak for him. Danny lost a lot of positions last week at COTA. He's going to lose some more this week. Hopefully the remainder of the season he'll be able to turn it around. Jerry Bergeron last season won the championship and did not win a race until the last 2 or 3 races. Bergeron was just that consistent all season long. His season got off to a rough start, but last week at COTA, race number 5, it started turning around. Jeff Oakes back in lap traffic, but with 5 to go and a 10.2 second lead, he just has to coast it. Mike Burgess, though, the biggest mover of the night, started in 16th, currently runs in 6th, and still has a shot at 5th. He is running down Gil Guac rapidly. He's 4.5 seconds behind, but is beating Gil by over a second a lap. Three laps to go for Jeff Oakes. He will have 2 wins in a row if he can pull it off. Lap traffic is his only concern from here. Hey, good evening, Kenny. Two laps to go for Jeff Oakes. He won last week at COTA. Headed to the win here tonight. Came in tonight second in points, just 5 points behind the Mark Nelson, and it looks like he might get it done. White flag is in the air one more time around for Jeff Oakes. The start of this season looked like it was going to be a Mark Nelson dominated season. Oakes is turning it around, though. Out of turn 4, Jeff Oakes goes 2 in a row at Richmond and gives us a little drift. Jerry Bergeron coming home in second. The Mark Nelson comes home in third. Gerald Thanos Poole in 4th, Gil Guac in 5th. Let's talk to our top 3. Mark, you came home third, but you had a win pretty much into the bag until it just got a little push.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I need to go watch the replay. I thought I had enough room to my right to accelerate there, and next thing I knew, I was next to somebody spinning, so I'm not sure what happened.
Well, man, it was still a great race, and the charge back, you ended up back in 6th, charge back to 3rd. A couple more laps, it looked like you were going to take 2nd as well.
Yeah, I was trying to stop the bleeding as much as I could, but just ran out of time.
Well, you definitely stopped the bleeding, but it looks like the start of the season looked like you were going to dominate. Now you got some competition up front.
Yeah, he's not making it easy, but I'll keep on trying.
Well, man, great job tonight. Can't wait to see you in the truck. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, Doug.
Mark Nelson coming home in 3rd. Jerry Bergeron comes home in 2nd. Jerry, you came into the season defending champion, but, man, the season got off to a rough start, but turned around dramatically last week. Jerry, you got me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, your season kind of got off to a rough start. Not what we saw last season, but last week it turned around. This week it got even better.
Well, I need some good luck because I got in a few wrecks of people that smashed in front of me since the beginning of the season, but I think things are turning around now.
Definitely appears to be, man. You made a big jump in the points last week, up to 9th, and gonna make another big jump again this week. It definitely a turnaround here.
Well, that's the point of racing: to have some fun and go get as many points as we can.
You're definitely on the right track, man. A great job and a great run tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Doug.
Jerry Bergeron coming home in 2nd. And it looks like once again we don't have our winner to talk to. Looks like Jeff Oakes is just going to take these wins very humbly and oh, there he is. Hey, Jeff, congratulations. Man, that was quite a win. You're muted, Jeff. Give us just a minute, folks. Looks like he might be having an audio issue. Oh, Jeff, you got me? Looks like Jeff Oakes may be having some audio issues. Let's see if he's... Jeff, you got us? Looks like he is having some audio issues here. Jeff, you got us, buddy? Okay. If we don't get him in the next few seconds, we will make sure to get a pre-race interview with him next week because Oakes is on a tear. May have just taken the points lead here tonight. Congratulations to Jeff Oakes, 2 in a row. Jeff, you with us? It looks like we are not going to be able to get a word with Jeff, so we will get a pre-race with him next week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget the HTSAI Community Convoy is up. She will be streaming here shortly. And if you guys are lucky, I'll get in and cause some chaos here in a bit. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope y'all had some fun. Stick around. Chaos and Anarchy in an 18-wheeler coming in a minute. Thanks for watching, everybody.